My October started pretty good. My October started with me watching Don't Worry, Darling. And I just want to say, you bitches lied. You bitches on the internet lied. Y'all that were giving it horrible reviews and saying that Harry Styles was a horrible actor, which I believe, I would like to recant that belief. I'm recanting, I'm taking it back, that Harry Styles is a terrible actor. I think in the clips we saw, it was quite, it was not the best acting. I won't lie to y'all. The acting in the clips were a bit questionable. But also, who said he was being American in the... Because the thing was, his accent was shit, right? And a lot of people were like, what is this accent he's got going on? Leading a lot of people to believe that he was supposed to sound American in the show. In the movie. He was not sounding American in the movie. He was playing a British person. Harry's accent, his real accent, has just absolutely turned to shit, I guess, with all of his touring and like living abroad and stuff. His accent is god awful, and it's not even a fake accent, it's his real accent. But there's something that happens when you live far away from home. You start to adopt the different accents of where you're going. And if you're taking summers in Capri, hearing Italiano, okay, and if you're taking winters in France, okay, and then you're going back to England, to Yorkshire for spring, and then maybe, every once in a while you do a little trip to like Cape Town, your accent is going to sound real fucked. So I'm not really surprised that his accent sounds terrible. Like, his real accent sounds horrible. And I'm like, Harold, get a dialect coach or something. Like, fix it now. But yeah, but he also, like, why am I having a whole segment on Harry Styles? Anyways, he also... he was also very young when he started like touring and all that, so that's more likely to happen to you. And like even Meghan Markle, like even remember Meghan Markle when she first moved over to England, like I think it was like the second year that she was over there, there was a clip of her and people were like, why is she faking a British accent? And a lot of linguists were like, no, this is something that very commonly happens to people when they live abroad. The thing is, I feel like people really don't actually realize how easy it is to lose your dialectic sound, if that's a real word. But it's very easy to lose your accent and like the way you speak and the tone of which you speak. Like, I listen to myself talk sometimes. Well, I mean all the time because I have this fucking podcast. And a lot of the time, I hear the Bostonian. Girl, I left Boston when I was like 13. Okay, and I lived in Rhode Island, so like it has like a little bit of Boston accent, but like it's not as abrasive, but I hear it all the time. And most of the time it comes out when I say day. And like, but I have to be because I'm thinking about saying day, now I'm saying day. Like day. But like if I'm talking about like something, I just did it, talking. Like that's a very Boston thing. Like it's like long. There you go, long. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, it's a very Boston thing. Like, it's long, it's annoying, it sounds like Linda Belcher. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to say? But because I lived in the South, like, it's been, like, graded down a lot. And it only remains in, like, certain words and sentences and tones. And then I hear myself talk sometimes. I'm like, who the fuck is that country girl? Who the hell is that country bumpkin, like, in this phone right now? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, so I hear that, and then to make matters worse, see, there it is, matters, to make matters worse, there it is again, I tried to say it without it, to make matters worse, there's my mother in her Haitian accents, all right, that is giving, it's giving English, it's giving France, it's giving all of these things. Anyways, all of that aside, Harold did fine. Harold Styles did a phenomenal is taking it a bit of far, let's be real here. He did a phenomenal job. Says it again. He did a good job. He did a good job in Don't Worry, Darling. And there was a twist at the end that is amazing. It was a great twist, okay? The whole time in the theater, my friend that I went with, her ass was just talking. So she was talking so much. And it got to the point, like, first of all, she was commenting on the movie. And then she kept offering me snacks every 2 minutes. And I was like, mother, please knock it off. So she was like, fine. And she just started talking to the people next to me, next to her. And I was like, this is absurd. But there was and I'm not a movie talker. I'm not a movie talker. When that twist happened, there's one twist and then there's a second twist that's like, it's like a full loop-de-loop. I said, oh, are you fucking kidding me? Like I said, if I say the word, you're going to be like, I can't say the word, but I said the word out loud and I was like, this guy is a fucking blank, right? So it was a great movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really fun. It was really great. Florence Pugh is a gem. She's a doll. She's an absolute doll. Everything she does, mwah, absolute perfection. Absolute perfection. And after watching this film, you know, maybe if there was strife on set, whatever, there was a lot of things going on. I will say, though, there was one thing. Watching the movie, I kept in mind that I saw a tweet where there was a black actress. I want to say her name is Kiki. I don't know why. I don't know if her name is Kiki. Hold on. Let me look her up. If I can remember Harry Styles' name and Florence Pugh's name, I can surely take 2 seconds to look up the full cast of Don't Worry, Darling. This is my official review, guys. This is my official review of Don't Worry, Darling. And after we get through this review, I'm going to talk about my dating life just a little bit because I think we need an update. All right, so the what's her name? Let's move down here. Ariel Stachel, I want to say. Ariel Stachel. And y'all, where is this black girl? Kiki Lane. I was right. Her name was Kiki Lane. So I saw that on, I almost said TikTok, on Instagram, they were talking about how a lot of their scenes got cut off or got cut down. And somebody on Twitter, you know, I need to get off of Twitter because you guys are so full of hate and fucking vitriol. I hate everything about that site. But it, you know, but when it tweets, it tweets. When the funnies are funny, they're funny. But they were saying that Olivia Wilde, of course, she cut out Kiki Lane and Ariel Stachel's parts because she's racist. Watching the movie and putting this is not me defending Olivia Wilde ever. Watching the movie and putting on my screenwriter hat, I genuinely feel whether it was Harry or Florence or Chris Pine or Gemma Chan, if they had one more scene in that movie, they would have ruined it. And to be frank, I think they had one too many scenes in the movie. There was one scene between Florence Pugh and Harry that was the moment where I was like, if I lose, because you know when you're in a movie theater and you're watching the movie, you can feel, when you feel you're in the movie, you can feel your mind start to slip out. And once you slip out in that movie theater, it is very, very hard to get back in. That's like when you're at home and you're watching a movie, that's when you start cleaning, you get a snack, you go pee, and the next thing you know, you forget. Then you hear the Netflix commercial stuff going on. That's that part where I was like, halfway through the scene, I was like, you're either going to lose me. I was like, I'm either going to get sucked out and I'm not going to be able to get back in. And thankfully, right when I said that, that's when the scene ended. And I was like, we're right back in it. So I genuinely feel like if their scenes got cut, it might have been because it was redundant, because I feel like the plot wasn't that complicated to begin with. And I feel like the plot wasn't that complicated. Like, it was pretty linear. And I feel like if you put anything else in between, it would have just ruined it. And there was 2 scenes between Florence and Harry that were redundant. And I was like, if I get lost, it's here. So I can understand as an actor your frustration in like your scenes getting cut. But I'm not going to lie to you. When I did my student film, I cut out 2 actors' scenes completely. I cut them completely out. From the minute they walked in, I cut them out of the entire story. I just pulled them out because they were like a side story that I was just like, this is not necessary. And I just cut them out. So, but yeah, so I went in having the lowest of expectations. and thinking I was genuinely going to be watching a terrible movie. I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it. It was a great movie. But also though, I am quite easy to impress. So, I like movies. I'm a person that likes to sit down and watch a movie. If I love anything, and I'm not saying Don't Worry Darling is a bad horror film, because it's not. It's not even a horror film. I love a bad horror film. And I love a bad horror film that knows they're a bad horror film and completely leans into that. Like Malevolent and Orphan. Ugh. Except Orphan is great. It's not a bad horror film, but it's like a B-level horror film. You know, like it's kind of, I don't want to say tacky, but I don't know. It's like, moving on because we're moving on because I know like I'm not gonna explain it as well as I need to. But yeah, so I really like Don't Worry Darling. I had a great time watching that movie. It was really fun. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I think everybody did a good job. And if the rumors are true and Florence Pugh ended up directing half of that movie, give her the fucking Oscar for Best Director, even though we know it's not going to get that far. But, you know, nominate her for Best Director. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. It was super fun. And I liked it a lot.